Hello everyone. Welcome to the second in a series of videos giving you a bit of an orientation to the new MOPA Internet. Again, we have Sherry Peterson from Interact as my co-host and guide through the orientation process. Welcome, Sherry.
Thank you, Ray.
And today's session is going to be mostly Sherry sort of giving us a walkthrough to the MOPA homepage or landing page. So we're going to explore a little bit what's there and what it actually allows you to do. I'm not going to say much more because I'll jump in when Sherry needs some assistance, but I'm going to turn it over to Sherry to actually introduce the homepage.
All right, well, thank you, Ray. And as you guys know, when you first log in, the MOPA landing page is going to be what you see first. And if you are, in another area, as a reminder, that home icon and that global toolbar, as well as your MOPA logo, will always reset you to your organization's home landing page. And the purpose of a landing page is to utilize widgets to in essence, pull through the most important information that lives within the internet, okay? Just make it a little bit more visual, okay, for the internet user. Now you can see the very first widget here is called Latest Documents and Materials. So when you log in, you're going to want to kind of take a look, and this one's set to what we call a carousel layout, and it's going to rotate the different pages through. And when you see a page that comes up that would be of value to you and you want to learn more about it, all you got to do is click on it, and it's going to go and open up that particular page. Okay, so we'll let Ray click on a page here, so the one for project. So it goes and opens up the page. So here we've got this GR committee charter. As a review, remember every page has the buttons that are located underneath the title. Remember you can put a watch down to a page level, and that would generate a notification if this page gets edited and republished. You could mark this as a favorite, and then that will create the list of favorites kind of in that star icon that's going to be located to the left of your name in that global toolbar. And remember, the favorites then are just links to pages that you may reference on a day-to-day or weekly basis. You can also, with any of the pages within the intranet, you could share this out. So if you come across a page and you know that another coworker would really value this particular information, when you click where it says share this, you can utilize the @mention tool. So Ray, I'm going to have you put in the @mention symbol. And then Ray, I'm going to have you start to type in your name. So maybe I found this page, and then you can see down below, oh yeah, there you go. So try that again. So that additional space, just to guys give you a heads up, when you utilize the @mention tool, so Ray, go ahead and backspace everything out and remove that @mention symbol.
Okay.
What you're going to want to do with this is put in that @mention symbol and then immediately start to type. So it does not want that space in there. There we go. So then we can see that there's Ray's profile. And then what I could do in here is we'll select Ray in here. And then you could provide some additional text. So you could add that space now and say, Ray, this page might be of value to you. And then when he clicks on share, then what's going to happen is Ray would then get a notification that would show through that notifications bell icon, and then it's going to provide a direct link back to this page that Ray can then open and come read. So any pages throughout the internet that you know somebody else would really kind of benefit from, you can share pages out. You can also like pages. You can see that there's a button that you can like it. You could convert it to a PDF. The button to the right of the PDF is your ability to minimize the screen. Right now, this page is set to do what we call default to full width. So it opens up that viewer a little bit larger. Now, what you're going to want to get used to doing, though, is clicking that icon to, in essence, minimize it, because the right-hand panel could be of extreme value to you. It's going to show you the author at the very top. It's going to show you potentially, remember, if a mandatory read gets pushed out to you in the right-hand column here, that's where that shows as well. So this right-hand column potentially could have some very valuable information for you. Could have that mandatory read dialog box there. Notice that it says MOPA recommends. Okay, so it's offering up other pages that might be of value to you. So it is going to be important that occasionally you you do click on that button in essence to minimize that viewer and see if on that in that right-hand panel if there have been any additional attachments provided for you that may be of value, okay, or the MOPA recommends. Okay, so that's the ability to minimize and then maximize the actual viewer. Now, while we're in here, okay, so we've looked at a page. We know that we got to this page because Ray clicked on that widget, okay, and it opened up the page for him. Remember, all pages live within a category. Remember, category is in essence just a folder. Now, if we had come directly to this content area, maybe we didn't use the widget, okay, and we came directly to the content area. This is actually called the Docs Library. So Ray, in that, exactly. So if Ray would have clicked initially on Docs Library, we would be in this, what we call this Docs Library content area. And I do want to talk about a content area because it's important with terminology. A content area is going to house pages, as you've seen earlier. Okay. You can also see that when you come in here, if you are looking for, say, OPC information, you notice that there's all these different menus in this left-hand navigation here. Yeah, so Ray can click on those menus, and then you can get further information that is specific to that menu topic. Now within here, you've got an OPC Regional Council category that's going to house pages specific to that category. And then we've got looks like an O&P scope of practice. So if that category would be of value to you, it's no different. You just click it. It's going to then open up and display any pages that would be allocated to that particular category. Okay. So a content area is going to have menus to help you identify what would be of value to you. It's going to house your categories, which ultimately your pages get allocated to. You can have a calendar within a content area. So there's a variety of different things that could potentially live within this content area. Links, for example, Ray did a great job. He clicked on that very bottom menu. So if he clicks on one of those links, maybe one of these links would be of value to you.
And it opens up in a separate window. In this case, it's a calendar for a specific organization. In this case, it's the OPC.
So a content area, as you can see here, can have links if it would be of value to this particular content area. Notice the one thing at the very top that has been added to this content area is what we call a page listing. Now here's called Documents List, and what it's going to do when you click on that from an internet user's perspective, it's going to then pull all the pages that live in this content area called Docs Library, and it's going to bring them into one view for you. You can search on it, so if you knew maybe a part of a name, you could search in there. You can, if you knew, now remember a category is in essence the folder that those pages get allocated to. So if you had a fairly good idea of maybe which category it was in, you could narrow it down by category. But it's your ability to see all of the pages within one view, regardless of what category they live in. Okay, so that's a really nice little feature there, a little search feature in essence, to find the pages that ultimately live in this particular content area.
In this case, there's 46 pages spread over 5 pages. And obviously, as Sherry's indicating, this area is going to grow as you submit materials and as we receive materials through general searches, as well as what we receive from other bodies or organizations. So expect this to become quite robust.
All right, great job in there, Ray. Let's go ahead and click your MOPA logo and let's reset to your landing page. Okay, so once again, we're going to have it reset it to your MOPA landing page. Notice on the right-hand side, there are 4 clickable buttons. These images are clickable, and they're going to take you. Now, we're going to focus on 2 of them today. One is the News button, and the other one is the Calendar. So, Ray, let's go ahead and start with the News. So if you're obviously after some news, you can click on that little image, and it is set to actually open this particular area that has blogs. And I'm going to let Ray kind of talk to you eventually about the potential and different things that will be housed in here.
Thanks, Sherry. Currently, what I've done is I've set up a blog that I will use to basically push out information to you in small chunks. So it'll be a variety of information. It won't always be GR. It'll be something coming up for meetings or activities. So expect to see blog information appearing as your news source, as well as other members who basically will be helping the board members, the committee members, and team leaders will have their own blogs. So they're basically going to do that, and I'll give you an example. Today, Brom basically did a quick post in the GR committee area. Once he gets his blog up and going, he's going to post comments. So that'll populate this area. And it's, as Sherry's pointing out, this is a great way to find out what's going on, because as she's pointed out in the column, it indicates that I've authored this, and it gives specs on who I am, and also some of the posts that I've made. And it archives the tracks what's going on. So 6 months from now, you're going to be able to say, okay, what happened in January? I know we did something, or something was going on. You'll be able to click that further down the road as time goes by.
All right, excellent explanation on that, Ray. So once again, let's go ahead and click on your MOPA logo and reset your organization's home landing page. The other one we wanted to show you today was the calendar. So when you click on the calendar icon, it's going to take you to the Associate Activities calendar. And once again, I'm going to allow Ray to kind of explain, the different types of events that you might expect to find here.
Yeah, this is an exciting new feature, is basically what we're planning to do with the board, the committees, as well as we receive information. If you folks are attending various activities, you're going to see events and activities posted within the calendar. And what's quite exciting is that an event can be added to a calendar, and we can use that for RSVPs as an example of some features. So what you're seeing on the calendar right now is we've opened up the board nomination process. So you see that spread over the month of October, and you see it closing on the 25th. And you also see an upcoming fall MOPA meeting on November the 2nd. And what we've done, with Sherry's assistance, of course, is we've created some categorizations. So there's some color coding that can happen. So as you see on the left within the MOPA activities calendar or association calendar, is that we're going to be listing member meetings, committee meetings, board meetings, any event and conferences that are of interest and of value, and we also have one other category that we can place in that. So we're quite excited about having a calendar, and we're going to pre-populate it so that we want you to basically, just as Sherry said, click on that one icon to see what's going on.
Another feature I'd like to just draw to your attention is on the right-hand side, you'll see a subscribe button. If you subscribe to a calendar, what will happen is when a new event gets added, you would actually receive a notification. And then once again, it'll show up to that notifications bell icon. And when you click it, it would then once again come and open up this calendar so that you could see the new event that was just been placed on the actual calendar itself. So you can subscribe to calendars, and that also generates a notification.
Excellent.
All right, great. Yeah, I do like that feature there. All right, we'll click once again on your MOPA logo there. So those 4 buttons there, as you can see, are clickable. You'll notice that there's another widget for quick links, and once again, this is just pure, user convenience. So if you needed to open up one of these, sites really quickly, you could click on it, and it's going to go open it up in its own separate tab. So we'll have Ray click on one of those.
And what we did is we basically have set up those links so that you can quite easily open up a new window, so you're not disrupting your view in where you were in the MOPA intranet. So if you said, oh, gee, I want to look up what the OPC is doing, it opens up another window for you, or in this case, it's the War Amps and the specific page of how War Amps works with orthotics and prosthetics professionals. So very nice feature, very easy to use, as you saw. And we've done the ones that we think are the most useful. If there are other links you'd like to see, we can place them here or anywhere else. But take some time to check those out.
All right, Ray, we'll have you kind of scroll down the landing page here. We'll look at some of the other widgets. The one that says Welcome to the MOPA Intranet, that is in essence a link to basically your welcome to the internet page. And once again, it's going to go open up that particular page, and it's going to talk about the internet and some useful features. So it is a link directly to a page. Okay, so there's the welcome to the MOPA internet. Once again, there's all your watches and your favorites. So they provided just a link, in essence, to this initial page just to get you started within the internet. All right, so we're going to utilize the home button this time to reset the organization's landing page here. All right, as we scroll down, we'll go ahead and talk about the who's blogging. Okay, so here's a widget that's going to pull through different blogs. It's going to give you obviously an image. It's going to then give you the title. We know that Ray is the author. And if you wanted to read one of these, once again, when you click on one, it's then going to go open up that particular blog so that you could read it in full detail.
And here we go. And this just happens to be the page that we just visited, but oh no, pardon me. It's actually pushing down to the blog post that I did and what I had selected, what's happening in October and November. And basically, I just recap some of the things that you had received communication on. So in this case, that the board nomination and elections process is open, that we're opening up a new intranet, and that there's a fall membership meeting. So you'll find this quite convenient, as mentioned earlier, is that there will always be some new information available for you in consumable chunks. And I'll just mention that through the notification process, I installed on my iPhone the app, and I'm finding it quite useful that when something new is coming up, I get a little pop-up. And just recently I received some notifications of those latest posts that Brom and a few other folks did in the GR area. So I think you'll find that quite useful to sort of keep you motivated to say, hey, something new is happening.
All right, we'll go ahead and reset to the landing page. So you're going to have that widget that when you click on is going to allow you to read those additional blogs. The widget that's called recent activity, what this is doing, this is a very dynamic widget, and it's kind of fun because it's going to capture when your other coworkers and individuals are out doing things. So we can see here that Ray replied to a particular item here. So, and then below that, we've got Matt Jones replied. And every time, as you can see there, when you click on somebody's name, it actually will take you to their profile wall. Okay, so anytime you see somebody's name throughout the internet, it will take you to the profile wall. So it's going to be constantly being updated with different things. If you like a page, that's going to make this particular widget. Now, the other reason I really like this one, because it's always bringing in something new, it's always being updated, but this widget also has the potential to pull through mandatory reads. Now you can see here for this particular video here that we're doing, we're actually impersonating Eric today on this one. And notice that Eric does not have any mandatory reads showing in that global toolbar. Okay, so that mandatory reads icon is the one that looks like the exclamation mark. If he did have a mandatory read, as a reminder, remember it's going to show there, but it would also make the widget as well. Okay, so this widget is kind of nice in that sense as well. Now what Ray could do here at the very top where it says recent activity, it says what are you working on? He could type in here, working on a training video with Sherry and post that out. So if you want to, you can type directly what you're doing in this widget itself.
And it takes a few seconds to refresh. Yep.
Absolutely.
And I'm just
so that's
I'm just going to add one last thing is what Eric did is Eric actually went to the mandatory read, went through it, and clicked off that he had completed it. And with the new system that we'll talk about in the next video, there's actually a way of tracking what is actually happening within the intranet. And the value to that is we'll be able to see what's working well for members and for participants and make adjustments accordingly. And the value is basically being able to see whether people are utilizing features fully. So analytics is another feature that you don't quite see it, but it's there for the usage of the administrators and the power users within the system.
All right, and the very last widget you can see is on the right-hand side, and this is actually a gallery widget. And it's going to scroll through the images. If you want to progress it a little faster, you obviously can. When you hover over it, yeah, you'll see the little ability to move it a little bit faster if need be. Okay. Otherwise, if you click on actual one of those images.
Oop, I've been kicked out again. Here we go.
We'll let Ray get logged in here.
And here we are back in the gallery because I had clicked on the gallery.
Very good. So when he clicks on that image, it's going to take you to the gallery, and the gallery basically is kind of what it states. It's an area that can house different images. Now within here, let's say you wanted to see these a little bit larger. When you click on one, so he clicks on that, it's going to bring that image a little bit larger, and you can see that when you hover over that image, okay, you can see obviously that Ray's the one that has, you know, inserted the image into the gallery. And then when you scroll down kind of towards the bottom of the image when you hover over, so he's kind of hovered over the top of the image right now, you could share this out with somebody. Once again, maybe you think a coworker would like to see this image. You can like it. If you thought for some reason it was, you know, inappropriate, you could report it. And then because Ray's the one that added it, he would get the notification. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, once again, you guys, as a reminder, when Ray got logged out, when he came back in, notice he came back in with his permission level. And Ray, because of his permission level, would have the ability to delete an image. Now, the internet user, such as Eric, who we were logged in earlier, would not actually see that delete button. Okay, so that delete button is extremely permission-based to different users with that particular permission.
And I'm just going back to Eric. Sorry, Sherry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
here.
That's fine.
There we go. And I'll go back to, okay, back to the gallery where we were. In this case, I'm clicking on an image, and here we are in the gallery, and back on an image.
Very good. Yeah, and you'll notice here that he is actually, I think I still see that.
See, Eric's been given author permission.
Oh, very good.
So,
all right, you threw me there for a loop there, Ray. And once again, you guys, the internet is extremely permission-based. So Ray has a very unique permission. And then Eric has actually been given another permission that allows him as well to actually delete images within this gallery.
That's right.
So honestly, probably...
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, to reinforce, committee members will have more functionality or permissions, and so will the board. So what we're doing is, what we're trying to encourage, why the permissions, is basically so that there can be quite a bit of exchange and uploading of information and materials. So we're encouraging all facilities to submit photos, videos, information, links, connections, etc. And we'll touch on more on that in our last video, but the idea is that we'll substitute images like the one you're seeing with actual photos from facilities or activities that MOPA participates in. So back to you, Sherry.
All right, well, Ray, let's go ahead and reset to your landing page. Remember, we can click on the MOPA logo or that home icon. So as a reminder, when you log in, okay, you're going to want to take a look through this landing page. Look at the different pages. Remember, they're clickable. It'll go open up that page for you. You've got the utilization of these 4 buttons that are clickable. Okay, and you can go to a forum. You've got the calendar. You've got the news. Your quick links. Okay, just there for, you know, references, you know, sites that you may use on a day-to-day basis. And then, you know, below that, just as a quick recap, you've got the who's blogging, and if one of those blogs would be of value to you, remember, when you click it, it's going to go up and open it, and then you can read it in full detail. You've got the recent activity, which is going to be constantly pulling something new. And like I said, I do like this one because it will also highlight a mandatory read if you have that still that you need to do. It'll show in there. And then you can see an example on the right-hand side of a gallery. And when you click the image, it's going to then take you to that gallery where you can open up into further detail, you can share it out, you can like it. Okay, so great utilization of imagery. Anything else, Ray, that you would like to add to
No, I
the?
think that covers everything very nicely. And what we wanted to achieve in this video, as Sherry has basically done very effectively, is basically show the value and the purpose of the landing page or the home page. What we're going to concentrate on our final video in the series is basically the content itself as it applies to you as MOPA members. So we're going to go through, and I'm going to lead that one, and Sherry's going to mention different items as we go through that might be of interest as far as how to get good functionality and good access and how to work with them the features properly through this whole section. So this is the next one is going to be quite of interest because we're going to go in more detail into each one of these areas and why they were selected based on what MOPA members and committee members and board need to access. So I'm just going to close and thank Sherry for her assistance. As usual, it's been a great collaboration here, and we'll say goodbye and connect with you in the next video.
All right. Thank you, Ray.